going on? We got some jazz going on in Dungeons and Dragons Online at the moment, thanks to Update 67. Hello everyone, welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDOstream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'm jazzing it up here before the show. That's awesome. Update 67 got released this week. It has 3 new dungeons. You can get them for free. I'll explain that in just a second. We're going to run some of them. So we've been hanging out for a while, and it's time for us to go on a date together with a Mind Flayer. We'll be doing that shortly here on DDOstream. There you go. And that's what we're up to. All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's see, what do I got for news? Did I actually schedule it? No. All right. Hang on. There we go. First thing I want to mention. My stream software is being slow. Okay, hang on a second here. Are you working? Hello? Alright. Year of the Dragon March kicked off this week. So, that means... There we go. You can get the new adventure pack for free. Go speak to Zatharal of the Eberron Hall of Heroes, and you can get this Slice of Life adventure pack for free. It will be free to VIPs after this promotional period ends with Year of the Dragon, and it'll be available in the DDO store for points if you missed out on it, but you don't have to give us any DDO points. You can get it right now for free. All you have to do is speak to the NPC Zatharal in the Eberron Hall of Heroes, and that's that. We also have Daily Dice Gold Rolls for VIPs through April 23rd. That kicked off this week, and you can find out more about both these gifts if you have any further questions over on DDO.com. But yeah, that kicked off on Wednesday, so free adventure pack and Daily Dice Gold Rolls. The other thing I do want to mention is we do have our release notes up for Update 67. You can find that on DDO.com as well. In some ways, it's similar to the information on the page about the adventure pack and gold rolls, but we have other bug fixes and things that you can read about as well. You've probably already seen that stuff. We also, through next Thursday, have a vote going on, so I want to make sure that you're aware of our vote. Vote for a monster to see inside of the game. This relates to last week's PAX East presentation, and I'm still waiting on the video files to get that up onto YouTube, but during the presentation we talked about monster creation, and part of it is we're voting on a monster to see in the game in the future. Which one do you want to see? Etten, Intellect Devourer, or a Carrionet? And you can go to DDO.com and there's a link to a survey and SurveyMonkey. You can cast your vote, and we're taking votes through next Thursday, so make sure you get your vote in if you care. I have my own personal choice. I think not everyone knows what it is, but a bunch of people probably do. The other thing I want to call out before I get in game and go on a date is to call out some of our sales for this week, because we've got stuff going on. This is your final weekend for Plus 20 Hearts of Wood. They're available through March 31st. The other thing, Dragonlord is in the DDO store now for those who need it. It's also free to VIPs. We also have Vecna Unleashed. That got out last week, but then also this week we've added to it Monster Manual 9, the +1 tome of Universal Enhancement Morgrave, and the Macrotechnic Epic Destiny. So if you've been waiting for these things to hit the store, now's your chance. They're available. Otherwise, got a quick, decent, free 5-stack of Lasting Potions and Jumping 20. Those are always useful. And the coupon code for that is Jump Buff. And then our regular sales are 30% off things like Augment Bags and things like that. You can read more about that on DDO.com. Finally, I did want to mention that we have a bonus through the weekend. That's 20% Guild Renown, and that goes through March 31st. Alright, we're in game. I'm going to get to chat in just a second here. Let me turn up my volume. There we go. The Intellect Devourer would die from starvation in DDO? Well, I don't know if that's true. We got some pretty high-end builds. I think Intellect Devourers would feast on our min-max int builds. I mean, Harper Agents alone got to count for something. Or yeah, Inquisitors, that's what I meant. I don't know what the strength needed to win the Crystal game is in Fred's first date. Sorry, I don't know. Alright, so here we are. We're going to go on a date with the Mind Flayer. Also, I see someone says hello to me in chat. Thank you. I should mention, real quick, that I'm aware, we, the team, are aware that there are a few issues with this Fred's First Date quest. Typically, I've not encountered them running solo, so should be fine here for the stream, but we'll see. But there are a few things that we're working on for a patch, most likely in this next week. That's the only real bit of future-looking new... Well, I think I might have something else I could mention, but... Next week, we're currently tentatively planning for a game update. That would be 67.0.1. However, we're doing some work on kind of our build machines and that over the weekend. So it's possible there might be some issues next week in getting out a patch, even if we want to. So if that ends up happening, what we'll do is roll it into the week's following patch, which would be 67.1. So we'll either have a 67.0.1 next week, or it'll get rolled into the patch the week following. The current thinking on what'll be in the patch would be a fix for this quest. There is an issue where if you have more than one person talking to more than one Fred, and it'll become more apparent in a second, I can kind of glitch out the quest, sadly. So why are we going on a date with the Mind Flayer? Well, Fred has been researching various cultural concepts of humanoids. He's regaling you with the results of his research on romantic relations as practice. Given that this is my home for the moment, I would be loath to remain ignorant on any cultural topic. This will get me into the mind of the humanoid in romance, so that I may better understand them. So, we're going on a date? Yes, I wish to woo you and be wooed. I have planned 3 locations to take place. We'll go to the Sharn Forest Park, board the Sky Coach when you're ready. Let's do it.
To the first location of your romantic adventure. Fred tells you that he has 3 different activities planned for your day.
So, there's a section where Fred will spawn multiple versions of himself for the party. So that everyone can interact with a version of Fred. And there's some order of operations that can glitch things out. Typically, that is if one person speaks to more than one Fred, or if they speak to one Fred at one point, one Fred at another. We also think there might be an issue if 2 people speak to the same Fred at the same time. So we're doing a little work on that for next week's patch. Alright, so we're going on a picnic.
Fred points to a gate on the side of the clearing. He gestures for you to follow him. Fred leads you to a tree-lined clearing, dominated by a large picnic table with a lavish spread.
Here we are. Take a seat. Or stand.
So without psionics, won't Intellect Devourers just be another mob? Aren't Intellect Devourers attracted to psionic characters? I mean...
I have provided various things that you humanoids frequently appear to eat. I hope you enjoy them.
So that is part of it, but, I mean... Intellect Devourers do have regular attacks as well, but the other thing is they can do sort of intelligence damage. So they could be a stat draining kind of support mob or something like that, perhaps, as well. So do we want to be nice to Fred, or do we want to be less nice? I say we be nice. So it was quite pleasant this morning. Let me tell you about the time I searched a haunted house for treasure only to find myself amongst a group of pirates. Fascinating. I believe I spy the fixings for making sandwiches. I will return with one for you, my dear.
You pause your conversation with Fred. The variety of foods adorning.
So we got some yummy cheese. They call it Tasty Brain. And then soft bread. And then we are here too.
You make a sandwich with the bread and cheese, adding a slice of the brain Fred must have brought for himself. You hope he will find this creation appetizing.
You're the bestest, cutest. Anything for you, Pookie.
Now that our customary conversation is complete, it is time for you to go make me a bouquet and give it to me as a gift. That's what couples do on dates.
Turn
I am
up just a
told.
smidge.
Fred directs you to the gate at the other side of the clearing, showing him where to search for the flowers.
Okay, let's see. Do you have to have more than one Fred? Not running solo, so the way it works is each person is given the same task. It's just sort of a part of this particular quest. So if you're in a group with others, then you will encounter more than one instance of Fred during, say, like this most recent thing that we just experienced. And we're working on a, like I said, an order of operations issue where it's not playing nice with progression. I personally think that Bill Champagne on the music in this new adventure pack is channeling his inner Chick Corea a little bit. I wonder if he knows, if he would agree with me or not. One of the best concerts I ever went to was in the 2000s with the reformed Return to Forever. They reformed for the first time in, gosh, like 20-some years at that point. And did an absolutely amazing series of concerts. And I got to see him in Minnesota at that time. And it was the best musicianship I have ever seen on stage, bar none. I mean, just not even a close second. It's incredible. And we could find a way to make it work with, even if we didn't have psionics, to use an Intellect Devourer. In the same way that, you know, we could do some kind of similar psionic blast from a mind flayer or something like that. We could find ways to make it equivalent even if it's not direct psionic damage. I could see us doing that. Alright. What do we got here? Let me turn on auto attack real quick so I can pop on over more quickly to chat.
shambling mound rises from the dirt and lumbers toward you.
So, in case it isn't clear, maybe not everyone's going to catch all the motivation behind various decisions, right? So just in case it isn't clear, the music in this one is deliberately kind of Muzak-y, because you're going on a date. So it's sort of deliberately different from what you experience elsewhere within the game. Yes, so we have a new show coming on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/DDOstream. This is a player stream. It kicks off on Monday, and it's Griglock. Maybe you're familiar with the earlier name Karate Mac on the DDO forums. But he got in touch with me a little roundish PAX East to see whether there's room on the schedule for him to do a build-focused show, and the answer is, heck yeah, there is. Sure, why not? Let's do it. So, first episode's going to be Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Should run for about an hour and a half or so. So about 8 to 9:30 Eastern time. And the idea is to talk builds. I think once it sort of gets into its rolling along, the intention is people will submit builds or submit questions about build theory and things like that, and it'll get worked out on the show. I'm not 100% sure what he's got planned for this very first show here, but you can read more about it on the forums as well if you're interested. There's more information about kind of like what's going on. But it's a build show. Should be cool. Oops. Shoot. Alright, let's try that again.
You hear the sound of a door opening somewhere.
Alright, there we go. You really want to know what the cloud mount looks like? Well, I don't know that I'm going to have an answer for you too quickly, but the other bit of news that I would say is we are getting close to releasing more information about our VIP update. It won't be next week, perhaps not too long after that. We'll have more information about kind of what we've got in store for a VIP update, and that's something that various people are in the testing stages of. I talked a little bit about that last week as well, but we're getting pretty close on that. Not necessarily to making the change directly, but at least letting you know what it is that we'll be doing. So I'd expect to see that in the near future as well. And then, like I said, I haven't yet seen the video and audio of our PAX East presentation. There was someone on the Daybreak side who was able to film it this year. The actual PAX East group itself was not streaming from the Dragonfly Theater this year, so we didn't have a live stream to share right away. But we had someone on at the Daybreak side take audio and video. So as soon as I get that information from them, I'll put it up on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the presentation, I think, in its entirety. I think that's the plan. So I haven't actually seen anything yet, and I was actually setting up for our player meetup at the time of the presentation itself, so I'm just kind of waiting for video footage, but I've been told that that'll happen pretty soon. I would mention, however, that I am not going to be here next week. I'm taking a little bit of PTO next week, so there will not be a Fridays at 4 next Friday, and then I'll be back in 2 weeks. Oh, by the way, look how fast this character swims. I'm the best swimmer in the game. This character has got like so much speed. I wonder if I actually swim faster than I run.
Grazes
No,
on a small mound of grass.
but I think it's basically the same amount. Just look at that. Rank. I was regaling the importance of swim to some people at PAX East. But there we go. My swim is currently... Actually, it's only 47. I must have gotten rid of a swim item. It was up in the 70s there for a while. I think I swapped out one of my... I think I swapped out... What did I swap out? I swapped out this to give myself a little bit of a charisma boost score for... Actually, it'd still be strength. Okay. Well, I'll get back on the other one. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Underwater Action 21. I swapped out my Firemouth's diving helmet. Temporarily, at least, for the legendary Hat of the Head Chef. Just kind of check it out. By the way, the legendary Hat of the Head Chef, that's from one of the other quests in this chain. Let me take my cosmetic hat off, and you can take a look at what it looks like. It is, in fact, a chef's hat. Looks a little funky on this tabaxi, but... Uh-oh, did I just... There we go.
Pluck the brightly colored flower from the grass. Now you have everything you need to grant Fred's request for a romantic bouquet.
What are the chances of having more interview, meet the dev sort of activities here? We do that pretty regularly on DDO stream. We'll have either Severlin on or other people who are working on stuff. I guess it's true that in the past couple of months we've been busy doing other things and haven't done a lot of that sort of sit-down chats, but we do that pretty regularly, and I'd expect that to be the case this time as well. So I'm sure we'll see more of that in the future.
You tie the flowers together with the materials that have conveniently appeared on the table in your absence. Fred is going to love his bouquet.
Thank you for following my instructions. Do you feel satisfied with my performance? Bravo! We're gonna go to the Upper City Fair
Now that this
next.
part of the experiment has concluded, Fred tells you to join him at the next location.
It is time to leave. I promise
I'm gonna hit the
that
shrine
our next
quick.
location will be just as appealing to a humanoid such as yourself.
When will we hear more about the expansion? Well, the expansion is set for later this year. So I wouldn't expect to hear or see anything for a while yet. And that at least a few months, if not a little longer. Alright, where am I going? Here we go.
You step out of the Sky Coach and into an area high up in the towers of Shard. Cheerful carnival music resounds throughout the area. A man stands at a counter in a tent ahead.
Activities on a first date. Something to talk about aside from small talk. The carnival is open for just the next 2 days.
That
It seemed
man
to
over
fit the
there
bill.
is selling tickets. Be a good date and buy them for me.
Howdy there, stranger. You here for the fair? Why, yes, I am, Mr. Carnival Man.
The man hands you your tickets and tells you about the Carnival Challenge. Receive a prize after fighting members of the Carnival Troupe. A smiling man stands next to an unusual configuration.
Oh, right. Okay. On my go, a kobold will appear in front of me. I have 3 seconds to hit the kobold before it vanishes. When I hit the kobold successfully, the game ends. I have 3 tries to hit the kobold before I get the chance. So let me put my hireling on passive. See if we're good for this. Oh, not that time. All right. Nope. There we go.
Flinches beneath your successful strike, then disappears.
It's true. I bet a range attack would probably be the way to go there, wouldn't it?
The challengers spring into action.
Someday the kobolds are going to revolt. I mean, they already kind of have several times. So, in fact, isn't that at least partially what the anniversary event's about? Oh, let me put you up. Oops. There we go. Sorry, healer. That's what happens. I put you on passive and wasn't thinking. Let me give myself a little heal with rage. There we go. Okay.
You approach a large blue crystal floating above a platform. The man standing beside the crystal waves you over.
Well, let's give it a shot.
The crystal dims, signifying your loss. The crystal dims, signifying...
Oh yeah, right. We're going to be fixing that VO issue as well. I saw a check-in for that, where it's triggering for every hit rather than just once. So we're going to be fixing that in potentially next week's patch.
Signifying your loss. The crystal dims, signifying your loss. The crystal dims, signifying your loss.
Alright, well, we'll just do that. Here's the second challenger. Oh, Bulwark. What happened to you, buddy? Where'd you go, buddy? Alright, let me bring you back up. Do I have? Here we go. Oh, I can't because I'm enraged. For another 24 seconds. Good thing I had saved my second wind. There, I'll have you sit down next to these other fine folks. Or not. I think it's this guy's causing me problems. There we go.
The leader of the challengers falls.
Clearly, I need to get my true seeing in. I need to slot that, I guess. Alright. Oh, Bulwark is still dead? Okay. Or you died again. There we go. Come over here, buddy. Why don't you heal us up a little? Yeah, I'm digging this quest. I like, all the quests in this adventure pack are, unusual. So, you know, if you're one of those folks who's like, oh man, we're a little too goofy for me or whatever, that's okay. We'll be back to the regular, more serious adventuring in the future. This is a little bit different of an adventure pack, and that's working as intended, as it were. Some of the ideas for this actually ended up being brainstormed. I don't know if it was exactly around the same time, but roughly around the same time as some of the...
Animals mill about the petting zoo enclosure.
Nothing better to start your day than petting a kitten or dog or whatever, so we gotta pet the pets. As the Feywild raid, the musical raid. So some of the same kind of like, well, what could we do for really sort of off the beaten path questing? The idea of a cooking show, home renovation, going on a date with Fred, some of that stuff came up around that time. And we ended up using the musical raid in Feywild. But some of the quests are now here. So
He must be the final challenger. The giant springs forward.
But we do have, you know, Myth Drenner coming up later this year, and that's going to definitely be back in the more serious, epoch-defining adventuring that you might be used to. One of the things I've always really appreciated about our game, and I'm just speaking for myself here, is that we do have some level of breadth of variety of kinds of questing in terms of seriousness. Sometimes it's goofy, sometimes it's not. Generally it's not, but occasionally it is. You know, if you think about going all the way back to first edition Dungeons & Dragons, you had Adventureland and Land Beyond the Magic Mirror. And we've had, say, the Delirium series of quests, kind of a classic series of 3 quests that are available in Eberron related to aberrations and mind flayers and things. And they tend to be a little on the goofy side. And we do it occasionally. We've got like a fashion show one as well. But we don't always do this sort of thing, so it's really nice to see all of them packaged up like this for this one.
Acknowledging you as the victor. The last of the challengers falls, assuring your victory.
Did I miss a carnival game? Let me double check. Nope, because that's the pets. Oh, I need to pick it up, I bet. Or I didn't pet all the petting zoo animals. Let's see. Oh, I must have missed one.
You pet
There
each
we
of
go.
the animals. It is a petting zoo, after all. You note with satisfaction that you have played all the games present at the carnival. You hope Fred had a good time tagging along.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. I do know about Castle Greyhawk. It is pretty silly and fun. I actually still have in a box somewhere the original... Well, I don't know if it's the original. It's a first edition... first edition. I've got the Greyhawk box set. The old TSR Greyhawk box set in my D&D collection. It's one of the things that... A little bit of a prize in my collection, even if it's beaten up some, because it actually got used back in the
They'll
day.
meet you there. Fred tells you that the next date location is in the middle city. He says that
I would love to go to the Barrier Peaks. I loved that module. It would be a lot. Because if you're familiar with the first edition Barrier Peaks module,
Fred want to visit a place like this?
it is expansive. It's basically a campaign setting in terms of size, and there's a ton to explore in it. So I think even more so than Temple of Elemental Evil or something, quite a bit. It's giganto.
You enter an open courtyard. Fred stands by a door nestled into one of the buildings. The entrance to your next date.
What are you waiting for? Romance await.
So there'd be a whole bunch of challenges to doing Expedition to the Barrier Peaks in DDO.
Surprisingly polished restaurant.
Not that it couldn't be done, but it would be a big project, I think. If you were, or you would just do a slice of it.
Points you to your left, to a side corridor. The door opens into a more private room, filled with small, intimate tables. Fred sits down, waiting for you to join. Fred nods.
And then, of course, you would have the issue, just like you would in the actual tabletop. Do you really give your party laser guns? And if so, do they get to carry him out of the dungeon?
Places food upon the table, bowing as he makes his exit.
What is my favorite activity for the day? Defeating the inhabitants of the forest, completing the carnival challenge, playing all the games. Just happy I got to spend time with you.
You and Fred pause your conversation while you wait for dessert.
Oh yeah, just the one battery and it can't get recharged? Yeah. I could see that.
The waiter clears what's left of your entree from your plate and replaces it with your next course.
I would say when I was trying to have a decent conversation with you at the park, you were very supportive. You gave my attempts at different conversation styles a chance to play out, which gave me a lot of practice. At the carnival, everything went well, I suppose. That said, I feel that this date was generally successful. Great to hear
You
it.
and Fred had a lovely time on your date.
Works for
You and
me.
Fred go over the events of the day, discussing which activities were most successful in the Mind Flayer's attempt at romance. You and Fred will say goodbye in the courtyard outside. You exit the restaurant. To your surprise, a Warforged and a band of adventurers stand before you.
Hold on there, Fred. I finally caught up to you.
The Warforged glowers at the Mind Flayer.
I got your note. Headed off for a date. be back tonight? Seriously? Did you really think that just telling me about it would make it all right?
The mysterious stranger laughs.
I always knew you were a bit clueless, but this takes it too far.
The Warforged's fingers flex.
Maybe once I drill some sense into you, you'll think twice about doing this again.
Before you can ask any questions, the Warforged lunges at Fred.
Where's Frogo? Oh, that's true. I don't have Frogo with me at the moment. I've got Bulwark as the third wheel. But, no Frogo at the moment. Well, actually, never mind about Bulwark. Also, I'm taking out the wrong person. I'm a fighter. I need to take care of the one that doesn't like fighters. Alright. Now it's your turn, Hammerbane. Oh, Boot Hill, right. Gosh, you don't hear much about Boot Hill, do you? Speaking of older campaign settings. Oops. I wasn't paying attention. Go. Why am I at so low health? What happened to me? Oh, 21 negative levels. I guess that'll do it. I guess I should just die then and get it over with. But let me bring up... I was like, why am I... my red bar was up, but no, it's 26 negative levels. Jeepers. That's a lot.
Now you know how kobolds feel every time you come to their sewer.
Can I die? That's the main question. Nope, not this time. Alright, where'd you go? There you are. There we go. About time. Now bring me back. So to your point, though, I would expect to see some more developer chats in the future. I would expect fairly soon we'll have someone on to talk a little bit about the VIP work that we got coming up. I guess I don't really want to drop any hints about systems and stuff that might be coming. So I would expect to, as things hit Lamania and that, we'll see more. Jamie is just taking me out. I guess I need more. I need negative level absorption. Alright.
You won. Fine. I bet you're wondering who I am.
Usually Fred and I would take a walk around the Stormreach Market together today, but when I came to see him, I saw he left me a note saying he was going out on a date.
Wait, Fred?
I couldn't believe it, but then I thought it over, and it started to make sense. A week ago, Fred came to me asking about romantic date spots in Sharn, since I come here often. I told him about this restaurant. I thought he was going to invite me there. I've been kind of excited about it, and then I saw that note. I knew he was going to be here, so I tracked him down, see what the heck was going on. Guess I got a little bit carried away. You did, in fact, almost kill... Well, you did kill me. Once. But it got better. In my defense, I was aiming for Fred. Now that that's behind us, what's your side of the story? I met Fred while visiting Stormreach. He was helping me and my crew, and I liked talking to him, so I kept coming to visit. Then we started going on walks, talking for hours, holding hands. All the couple stuff, you know? He even said he loved me. He what? It's true. I said it first, but he did answer. I thought he felt the same. Have we asked Fred? Not exactly, but it seemed obvious, you know? He had to have known what he was doing. Alright, we need to chat with a certain mind flayer here about that.
To hear Fred's response.
Jamie said what? Where did that idea come from? Oh, I don't know. Maybe all the stuff you did that was totally dating? Preposterous, like holding hands. Did you kiss? Wait, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Jamie must have the wrong idea. No offense, Fred, but your attempts at wooing weren't the greatest. I did careful research. I do love Jamie, I think. You see, I'm still catching up on how to feel such emotions. But in this particular case, that love is more like how I feel about eating brains. Very great in the moment and satiating, but I would not want to date a brain. Why would Jamie attack me? And why would I take Jamie's side? You might not have known but you were doing it, but you were messing with Jamie's emotions. You should apologize.
You shake your head at Fred's obliviousness.
Sewer again.
Jamie, having heard the entire conversation, laughs quietly. Jamie says, "It's all right."
I can certainly understand the struggle in adapting when it comes to matters of the heart.
The Warforged turns to Fred.
Let's be friends.
Not for this character,
The
but...
Mind Flayer nods.
I'll see you back in Stormreach.
Fred says. Jamie nods.
It's not bad.
Leaves with the other
See what it looks like here.
What a wild turn of events after an already wild day. It looks like Fred still has a long way to go when it comes to understanding the art of romance.
Oh, I'm not seeing anything. Wonder if it's a tabaxi thing. Or maybe I've got to have True Seeing on? I don't know. So we're not going to have time to run other quests here today, so I think we'll just do this one, but we'll get started on one of these others. Yeah, I was up to 26 negative levels there. Someone wants us to have QA on so that they can yell at them about recent books. Okay. I don't think we'll do that. No, thank you.
He greets you eagerly. Your host asks you to enter your own personal kitchen. Speak with your sous chef to begin the competition.
But we have had QA on several times over the years, talking a little bit about the QA process. Actually, probably 5 or 6 times over the past decade on Twitch here. We've had members of QA on to talk about the QA process and what have you. So, sorry if the last couple of updates did not meet your expectation regarding bugs.
Your sous chef begins to yell out orders, and your kitchen staff immediately gets down to work. The doors to your kitchen burst open. Thugs rush in, attacking your sous chef and staff. Stop them before they do any more damage. You've defeated the rival thugs, but with your kitchen staff injured, you'll need to fight fire with fire in person. Defeat the other chefs and steal their food for yourself.
Alright, there we go. Take the wizard out first.
You found Kitchen 2, the location of your first arrival. Time for one guy.
I think it'll be a little while because, you know, Myth Drannor is set for the fall, so I wouldn't expect really to see much in the way of Myth Drannor information until later this summer. Something like that would be my expectation on timing there. Maybe a little early, maybe kind of a little earlier in summer you'll see some bits, but in general, I would say summer would be the earliest we'll really hear more about it. Lore sessions might be fun too. We could have Knockback on, perhaps talk a little bit about lore at some point when the time is right. Take this guy out. So let's see, as we're kind of getting the final few minutes of the show here, what should I bring up? So I mentioned just to recap things, we're working on a small patch for next week. We'll see. There's a chance it may get rolled into the patch the following week, depending on how things go this weekend. And we do have update 67, like I said, that would be 67.0.1 if it happens next week. Otherwise, we have 67.1 tentatively set for the week following. We're getting pretty close to being able to debut some more information about the VIP updates that we're working on. We have a 20% guild renown boost going through the weekend. We do have our PAX East monster vote happening through April 4th. Then we did release update 67 this week as well. So, a whole bunch of new quests. These 3 new quests. And gold rolls for VIPs, of which I think I actually haven't done my gold. Yeah, here we go. Here's my gold roll. Let's do my gold roll on stream here. No whammies. Alright. Dev hacks. I'll take that. That's pretty good. I don't know if I got the Fast Nightmare mount or not. I think I already do. I don't. Alright, well, there we go. I got the Fast Nightmare mount now. Nice. Sweet.
Opening the door to the house
Fridge methods, yeah. We know about that from the other quest where they use them as refrigeration tools. The one in Sharn. I think it's Sharn, right? Or was it Tower of Frost? Yeah, there we go. I mean, it makes total sense. Alright, I think that is going to wrap it up for Fridays at 4. And the week with some dev hacks on Daily Dice. That's going through April 23rd, by the way. If you're VIP, you'll get free Daily Dice gold rolls through April 23rd. Shutting off the morning of the 24th when we debut the next Year of the Dragon gift. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. You can find the full schedule over on DDO Stream on Twitch. These shows get archived on YouTube afterward. If you would, give us a like and a subscribe over onto the YouTubes. It helps us out, and it helps spread the word about Dungeons & Dragons Online. Have a great weekend. Talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye.